and gentlemen, Nantucket Nights is proud to present the comedy of Tom Cotter.
Thank you. Oh, you're too kind, too kind. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Thanks for showing up. We appreciate it. My old doctor always wanted a fresh stool sample, which was creepy because he was my dentist. But one doctor I like is he recommended marijuana to me, but that was Dr. Dre, and I don't know if that counts. So I go to see my doctor, and I have a shitty doctor because I have shitty health insurance because of a pre-existing condition called poverty. So I go to see this guy. He examines me briefly, and first he tells me I have high blood pressure, which I took with a grain of salt, but then he gave me the worst news I've ever gotten in my life. He told me I'll never be able to have children because I, apparently, don't have a uterus. And then he called me a moron and took me off the pill. But while I was there, he said it's actually a good idea when you get to be about my age to spend 15, 20 minutes feeling all around your scrotum for lumps. And he went on to say that if I ever did that again in his waiting room, he would call the police. So we got off on the wrong foot. And then because of COVID, he said, you should probably have a complete physical. And I said, for the complete physical, is it customary to be naked? And he said, no. And I said, then put your goddamn clothes back on. You're creeping me out. And then he examined me, and I will spare you the details. But at the end of that, he summoned me into his office. He sat me down, and he told me that I have acute angina. And I said, it's actually a penis, but thank you very much. And I said, you have a nice tuchus, and he waived the deductible. So I win. Isn't this great that we can do this again? We couldn't do this a year and a half ago, right? We couldn't? How nice. That was a tough year and a half for us. I want you to feel safe. I know some of you are wearing masks. I'm wearing a mask too, but I wear it as a thong. And I'll tell you something. I don't feel safe at all. I feel uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. I don't know how you ladies do it because it is splitting the twins right now. But anyway, I wore a mask to the grocery store the other day, and only a mask. And let me tell you something. Social distancing was not an issue. I had the whole place to myself. People ran away from me. I just got my first shot last week. It was heroin, and I loved it, and I recommend it. I can't wait to get the next one. I really can't. No, I did just get tested last week, negative. It was an IQ test, very disappointing, but I think we're coming out of this now. I feel good about it, because we were told as entertainers that we were non-essential. They kept pounding that into our heads. You are non-essential. My mother-in-law prefers the term useless, but either way, it's hurtful. So I'm in a good mood, I suppose. I'm getting better. I feel better. I'm a middle-aged man, and I was worried about the COVID, because the older you are, the more susceptible you are to it. I just turned 40 in 2005, and I'm a wreck physically. I really am. I don't like middle age. Everything hurts. I pulled my groin this morning. Well, I pull it every morning. Not the whole groin, just the dangly part. It's a lot of fun, and I recommend it. And they do dangle. You get to a certain age and stuff starts to dangle on you, doesn't it, right? Women always say when they get over 40, oh, my breasts are sagging. Gravity has taken over my body, and now my boobs are sagging. Like men are somehow immune to the effects of gravity, right? Sir, have you ever sat on a testicle? You ever done that before? Because you will never stand up faster in your entire fucking life. I swear to God. I leaped off of Santa's lap. It was uncomfortable for everyone. Merry Christmas. I don't like being middle-aged. I really don't. I have to take multiple medications every single day. Like, I have allergies now. Clap if you have allergies. Anybody have allergies? Yeah? Have you had them your whole life, or did you get them later on? I got them in the last 4 years. And now I have to take this allergy medicine every day called Ritalin. Anybody? No? Because I'm allergic to reality. I'm a mess. I was supposed to take a green pill today, but I couldn't find one, so I took a blue and a yellow. And so far, so good. Not that blue pill, though. Let's be crystal clear about that. I don't need that one yet, knock on hard wood. I am nervous about Viagra, and I'll tell you why. My uncle died of a Viagra overdose, and my aunt took it really hard. It was sad. I don't know why you're laughing. Someone died. Anyway, very sad. They couldn't close the casket. It was very sad, and so they buried him upside down. They struck oil. It's a happy ending, but anyway, Devastating. I don't like being a slave to medication. When I was young, I never had to take pills, maybe a multivite. That was it. Now, like the other day, first time in my life, took an overnight laxative. Young man, have you ever taken an overnight laxative? Of course not. Everything works on you, right? Well, I come to you from the future, and it's coming your way, buddy. I took an overnight laxative, unbelievable product, took it at midnight, 7 a.m., had the most incredible movement. The tragedy is, I didn't wake up till 8 a.m., and I am no longer welcome in that hotel, I'll tell you that right now. That is another restraining order. Anyway, but we are able to go out now, which is great. You can go to restaurants and stuff. I went to a German-Chinese restaurant the other night, and I had the sweet and sauerkraut. Very good. And then I was in Los Angeles last week. Everyone in LA thinks they're in show business, and it's annoying, frankly. So I was at a restaurant in LA, and the waiter comes sauntering over to the table, and he says, "Yeah, I just wait tables on the side. I'm actually a writer." And I said, "Okay, write this down. I'll have the onion soup and the swordfish. And get over yourself." People asked what I did during the pandemic. I did a lot of acting. The other night, my wife said I was acting like a jackass, and some writing, mostly suicide notes, because I lost to a dog act on national television, everybody. If you don't know, I was on America's Got Talent, and I came in second, which sounds good, but wait, there's more. I lost to non-humans on that show. Creatures that had no idea they were even in a competition defeated me. I was soundly defeated by butt sniffers and toilet drinkers, everybody. Not only did they win the entire $1 million prize, they can lick themselves, so they win on every level. But I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter about that at all. People think I am, but I'm not. They think I hate animals, which is not true. They're delicious. And I do love it. I'm not an animal lover in a Kentucky way, but I think you know what I'm saying. A lot of Kentucky folks here tonight, really? On the island? I love animals. I ran over a bunny once with my car, and I felt horrible because I am no longer welcome at the Playboy Mansion. So, yeah. And I was arrested. Full disclosure, I was arrested for cockfighting once, but there were no animals involved. More of a sword fight at the gym shower. But anyway, I like animals, and I like dogs. I'm not bitter that the dogs beat me. When you come in second to a dog act, you do feel like number two. I will tell you that, but I don't hate dogs. We have a lab. It's a meth lab, but we guard it with pit bulls, and they're adorable. And we also have a Dalmatian. We named him G-Spot because we can never find him. And yeah, some of these jokes are time-release jokes, everybody. They may not be funny tonight, but tomorrow you're going to shit your pants, seriously. So hope you're not in church when that happens. But it was weird, the whole pandemic. I would wake up and not know what I could do that day, because we were locked down in New York. I live in New York, and we were locked down for 2 months, which is the longest I'd ever stayed at home without an ankle monitoring device. So it was very weird, and we didn't know what to do with ourselves. So I knew it was a respiratory ailment. I would do a series of deep breaths through a bong, and then I would forget all about the pandemic, and I would have waffles. So it was great, but I occasionally smoke marijuana every single day, and I'll tell you something. I love the pot. I really do. I think they should legalize it everywhere, because it would make the country a little more mellow, wouldn't it? I mean, you guys are drinking. You're going to get violent later. I see it in your eyes, right? If you drink the booze, you get the beer muscles, right? And you get in fights, and if you do hard drugs, you knock over convenience stores, you mug people. The only thing you attack when you're high on pot is a Rice Krispie treat, really. Let's be honest. Some people think marijuana is a gateway drug to harder drugs, which is not true. They're different. Sure, marijuana will make you laugh at your grandmother falling down the stairs, but heroin will make you push your grandmother down the stairs, and crack will make you rob her when she lands at the bottom, and I just think there's a difference. When I was growing up, everybody smoked pot. My role models were Cheech and Chong. Remember them? Scooby-Doo? Tell me they weren't all high as a kite. 4 hippies driving around in a van called the Mystery Machine, hallucinating that they see ghosts. They had long conversations with a dog, and they always had the munchies. Cut the shit. The dog's middle name was Doobie. Am I the only one that figured this shit out? So we're getting towards the holiday season here, and if you're a Christian, I want to say Merry Christmas, and if you're Jewish, Happy Hanukkah, and if you're an atheist, how about those gas prices, everybody? How about those? Jesus. It's crazy. I'm not a deeply religious person. My dad was Catholic, my mom was Rastafarian, and that was weird growing up, because Dad would bring home the Christmas tree and Mom would smoke it. So it was weird growing up as a Christafarian, but my brother just converted. He's a Crystal Methodist. And yeah, I'm not a very religious guy, but I feel like I'm a good person. I do a lot of good deeds. Most of them are court-ordered, but I do them. And like some of the proceeds from tonight will go to feed the children, my children, which is nice. My brother gives 50% of his income to charity. That's his ex-wife's name, Charity. And it's good to give back, you know. You may have noticed I do a lot of one-liners, mostly cocaine, so I talk fast, so you gotta stay on your toes like Danny DeVito at a urinal. Okay, now let's move on. Today was weird. I woke up this morning and I could feel tension mounting. Tension's my dog. And that was awkward. This is still technically the fall. I love the fall. Fall's my favorite season. Last time I was in Massachusetts in the fall, I went apple picking. That's what I called it. The judge called it shoplifting from the Apple store or whatever, but I got an iPad, I got an iPhone, but there are a lot of eyewitnesses, so that didn't work out so well. I had to bump it up. I had the iPhone 2, which, as you know, is made of wood, so it was time to bump it up, and I got the 8. I can't even handle the 8. I know now there's like the 13 or something. Every time I go to answer the 8, I take a picture of my ear, because I'm an idiot, so I got it home from the Apple store, and everyone said, the first thing you should do is sync it with your laptop. So I tossed them both in the pool, and that negates the warranty. I don't know if you're aware of that. I don't deserve a cell phone, because I can't text. That's how everyone communicates now, by text message. And this is me composing a text. It takes an hour to do a sentence. And if I'm driving, I'm even slower. And if I'm drinking and driving, forget it. You can't even read it, so. But I can't text. Now they have a thing called talk to text, where you dictate your text message into the phone, then you press a button, and it sends it off as a text message. And I say, if you're going to talk into the phone, make the call, you lazy piece of shit. What are you doing, you know? But that's now how people communicate now. They all have to text. I saw a kid in Manhattan the other day, like a 10-year-old kid walking down the street with the iPhone 13, and he's composing a text like this with 2 fingers, rapid fire, like a paragraph per second. And he's not even looking at the screen. He's just walking down the street. So I tripped him. Screw him. He doesn't deserve that phone. And I stole the phone and I ran. And that's just the way I run. Now, I was jealous because he can text and I can't. And even if I do text, autocorrect jumps in and ruins my text. You ever have that happen? It was my birthday last month. My sister texted, "Happy birthday, do you feel old?" And I texted back, "I'm going gray." But autocorrect decided we didn't need the R, so it said, "I'm going gay." And then my sister texted back, "We always knew." What the hell is that? That is bullshit, autocorrect. Oh, I'm getting attacked by the mic stand. Now, that was kind of hot. Anyway, so I don't know. I'm not good with technology. And that was weird. Everybody, they all binge watch shows during the pandemic. Everybody did all that. I didn't know what to do. I was twiddling my thumbs the whole time because we had to do like online shows, which are horrible, really bad. And so to have a live audience, once again, I thank you all for showing up, because to have a live audience for us, we were jonesing. We really were. So thank you. And please continue to support the arts. Go see plays. Go see a juggler. Not a juggler, maybe a magician. But anyway, thanks for coming out for this. This is fun. Tough for relationships, too, I think, if you were single, it had to be brutal, right? Because you couldn't really date. Some people did the computer dating thing, which I failed at a long time ago. I dated a nice Jewish girl. We met on Christian Mingle, and that was weird. And then I dated an arsonist. We met on Match.com. Her profile said she could light up a room. She was not fucking around, I'll tell you that right now. Ironically, that ended with a burning sensation when I would urinate, so I'm glad it's over, but and then I dated a really tall woman. We met on Amazon.com, and then I dated an older woman, Ancestry.com, and that was fun, but those days are over. I am a married man Sorry, ladies. Call me old-fashioned. I married a woman. And I've been married for 5 wonderful years, 21 total, and I know some stuff now about marriage. I got married because I was sick and tired of living without decorative pillows, really. That was a hole in my life that needed to be filled, really, because nothing fills me with joy like having to remove 20 goddamn pillows from my bed before I can get into the bed. Pillows that, by the way, I'm not allowed to touch otherwise, those pillows. Marriage, I've learned, is about commitment, because at least once a month I want to commit suicide, but every other day, homicide. It is challenging. It's also about compromise. You have to learn how to compromise. We learned early on when we were dating that I like to sleep with the window open, and she used to like to sleep with my brother, and that was a problem. So we had to compromise. Things change when you get people think, oh, it's not going to change me. Yes, it is. Things are going to change, and they're going to change dramatically. When we were dating, the wife and I would open the car door for her, which I still do now, but now we're doing 70, and I'm pushing. A little different. And snoring. Snoring has become a major issue in our relationship. I snored the day we met. My snoring has never changed. It's remained constant. Her reaction is what has changed dramatically. Because when we were dating, she said my snoring was cute. But that's when she was trying to lure me in, right? When she was a penis flytrap. But then, once we got married, it wasn't cute anymore. On the honeymoon, she started with a nudge. And over time, the nudge begat a shove. And now she throws an elbow that would get her thrown out of a hockey game. Seriously. 2 weeks ago, I'm sound asleep and I'm snoring. She pinched my nostrils together, which is attempted murder, and it's bullshit. And sex. People think, oh, I'm getting married. I'll have sex whenever I want it. Sex will be at my beck and call. That is rich. I will tell you that once they say I do, they don't. And you know you haven't made love in way too long when little things start to arouse you, like sticking your key in the ignition. That shouldn't get you going, right? The other day I was sharpening a pencil, and I swear to God I said, take it all, you whore. That's not right. That's wrong, and I know it, and I'm working on it. Don't judge me. I walked into a Kentucky Fried Chicken last week, and the girl behind the counter offered me a juicy breast or a juicy thigh, and I had to turn around and walk the hell out of the restaurant. And I choked my own chicken in the parking lot, and that's just sad. You got to make it fun. That's how you make a marriage work. You make it fun. Every morning I wake up, I lean over, I kiss my wife right on the forehead, and I say, good morning, Susan. I want you to have a wonderful day. And it's fun for me because her name is Carrie, but it makes me laugh every time. And every Christmas she gets me soap on a rope, which is her way of saying that I stink and I should hang myself in the shower, but it makes her laugh. And every Valentine's Day I get her candy, which is fun for me because she's a diabetic. You do what you got to do, everybody. On our 5-year wedding anniversary, my wife tried to surprise me with a car, but she missed. And on our 10-year anniversary, she got me one of those cards with the glitter in it, you know, the anthrax. That was fun. And I love her. I do. I love her. These are jokes, by the way. I love my wife. I prefer monogamy because I'm not good with names, so it's great for me. And to her credit, she got me to quit smoking because I only smoke after sex, so I haven't had a cigarette in 11 goddamn years, so that's pretty good, right? And she took my name in marriage, and everyone calls her Needle Dick. It's hysterical, but she's a lot of fun, the wife, and we get along great. I married a comedian because who needs health insurance? And people say to us all the time, they say, oh, you guys must laugh all the time. Your house must be filled with laughter. Not really, no. There is some laughter. It's usually her. It's in the bedroom, and she's pointing, and I don't care for it, but she had me in stitches last week. It was a frying pan right above my ear, but I love her. We do laugh, but we also have arguments. We're a normal couple. We have stupid arguments, just like every other couple. We had an argument the other night because I peed in the shower on her leg. But I was just marking my territory. It was chilly in Manhattan last week. I came home and my wife was curled up in front of the fireplace with an Afghan. So I grabbed him by the beard and beat him with his sandals and said, "Get out of my house." And that was a fight. Whew. Sometimes you don't even know a fight's coming. It just comes out of the blue. The other night, I was slowly taking off my wife's bra, and she walked in on me. And whew, that was a doozy. I left to come to the island the other day, and before I left, my wife said I was suffocating her. I think that's what she said. The pillow was muffling her voice, but... and that joke is brought to you by MyPillow.com, everybody. For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, MyPillow.com. Anyway, love the wife, though. Dr. Phil says if you're arguing with your spouse, which we all do, it's inevitable, what you should try to do is see things from your spouse's point of view. So whenever we have an argument, I put myself in her shoes, and her stockings, and her bra, and her panties, and her scrunchie. And when you're standing there, wearing stiletto heels, fishnet stockings, with an underwire bra and a thong up the crack of your ass, it dawns on you. This is why she's irritable. I get it now. Dr. Phil's a genius. We're breeders. We have some spawn, the wife and I. We have twin boys, and people ask if we use fertility drugs to have twins, and not unless you count Prozac and tequila as fertility drugs, but we like to say we were blessed with twins because we got the child that we always wanted and one for parts. So that's good. And I had always dreamed of having twins, but in my dreams they were the Olsen twins in a hot tub. It was different, but this is special, it really is. And I'm Irish, my wife is Lebanese, so we know they're going to grow up to be drunken terrorists. Very excited about that. And they were due in January, but they were born in December, so they came early, just like Daddy. And that's exciting, it really is. Very punctual. Twin pregnancy is a tough pregnancy. First trimester, a lot of vomiting and crying, and my wife was having a tough time too. And then second trimester, she was really uncomfortable, and she snapped at me one day, and she said, "I'd love to see you give birth to a child." And I said, "I'd love to see you pee your initials in the snow. We're just different, you know what I mean?" I went to every single doctor's appointment with my wife when she was pregnant because I only work an hour a night, so I couldn't get out of it. And it is humiliating. You walk into the doctor's office with your wife, and within 5 minutes, she's naked with her feet up in the stirrups, and I can't even get her to wear a cowboy hat to bed, you know what I mean? And then the doctor comes sauntering in the room. The first thing he does is he conducts what he calls a breast examination. That's what he calls it. I call it going to second base on my wife in front of me. That's what I call it, because that's not necessary, is it? There's no medical... What is that, Obamacare? And then he says, "I'm just looking for lumps." And I'm like, "You're going to find one, fuckface. Keep it up. It's a scam." Our final visit to his office, I gave him a urine sample all over his desk. I didn't like him, and I let him know. He actually let me in the delivery room when the kids were born. First, they want to make sure you're not going to pass out. So he said, "Mr. Cotter, have you ever witnessed childbirth before?" And I said, "Yes, but it was a long time ago, and it was from the inside, but I think I can handle it." And I did. I actually filmed the delivery. I call it the sequel, because I also filmed the conception. And that's available on YouTube. Check it out. Anyway, you learn a lot when you become a dad. Stuff you don't know you're going to learn. For example, I learned that Playtex has a synthetic nipple for the top of their baby bottles that is so unbelievably lifelike. And you have not lived until you had a gin and tonic through one of these things. Honest to God. That is nirvana. We're child-proofing our home, but they keep getting in. Very frustrating. 2 boys. I don't know if I mentioned that they were 2 boys. We didn't know what the sex would be because I'm Irish, so there's no way anything was going to show up on an ultrasound, let's be honest. But anyway, not that funny. Anyway, pleasantly surprised with the 2 boys. My wife wanted to name one of them after her grandfather, but I thought Grandpa was a stupid name for a kid, so I said no. And then she suggested Simon, and I said no, because then we'll have to do whatever he says, and I'm not doing that, so. They're a lot of fun, though. They don't get along. Twins either love each other or they hate each other, and our twins have nicknames, Israel and Palestine. And my brother has twins that are inseparable because they're Siamese, and they don't get along either, but my twins are great. They're not the sharpest tools in the shed, and everyone seems to know that. The town put a sign right outside our house that says, "Slow children." It's humiliating, but we think they're dyslexic. We hope they're dyslexic, because every Christmas they write letters to Satan, and that's awkward. They're awesome, though. They make me laugh. We tease them a lot. We tase them a lot, because you're not allowed to hit your kids. We never hit our kids. We choke them out. They always tap. But and we never yell at our kids either. We prefer more of a creepy whisper from underneath their bed at 3 a.m. Very effective. I recommend that. We also teach them that words can hurt, because we will throw a dictionary at their head sometimes, hoping that the words will seep in somehow. Because they're taking Spanish in school now. They're barely fluent in English. It's horrible. I had to sit them down the other day and I said, "Boys, you have to do gooder." Thank you. They didn't get that in Alabama. But they're awesome, though. They make me smile. They make me laugh. One of my twins, Harry, came up from catechism class, religion class recently, and he said, "Daddy, did we evolve from Adam and Eve?" And I said, "Well, Adam and Eve were first, but then they had kids, and they had kids, and they had kids, and that's how you came to be." And he said, "Well, Mommy said we evolved from apes." And I said, "Well, Mommy was talking about her side of the family, but on our side." That did not go over well on the home front. I hope I don't screw him up too bad. My dad screwed me up, clearly, My dad was a foster parent. That's what he drank, Fosters. And he would come home liquored up when I was a little boy, and he would put me up on his shoulders, and then he would jump up and down underneath the ceiling fan. I hated that. My father and I have been butting heads since I was in the womb. Anyway, that's my father, everybody. Have some decency, please. My father's name is Mitchell, so my brothers and I are all sons of Mitches, and we were bad kids growing up. I'm the youngest. I was always getting smacked around by the two oldest, Mom and Dad. And I used to get the shit kicked out of me by these green berets that lived in our neighborhood. Some people call them Girl Scouts, whatever. But we were bad kids. When you're the youngest, too, you get ignored. Like, my parents would just sit me down. We had a little sandbox at our house, and I would sit there all day until the cat had to shit, and then I had to move, and it's very sad. We were bad kids, though. We would play Dr. Kevorkian. I would sneak over to my neighbor's house late at night, and I would bounce up and down on their trampoline. That was their daughter's name, Arlene. And next joke. Okay, good. So, and every Saturday morning in our neighborhood, we'd have this huge water balloon fight. And every Friday night, I'd put mine in the freezer, so I'd win, and I'd get a little wet, but the other kids would be bleeding from the ears, and that's a victory in my book. And then after that, all the mothers in the neighborhood would take turns spanking me. It was awesome. Not a normal family. I have to see him at the holidays. My sister hosted Thanksgiving this year. She called it a potluck Thanksgiving, which I thought meant marijuana and gambling, but it doesn't. It means she's cheap and we had to bring all the goddamn food. My other sister brought these things that I hate, her children. And you'd laugh if you knew them. But one of my sisters has two little ones, but she's getting breast implants. And I have a brother, Seamus. His name's John, but we call him Seamus because that's what he does. And he lives in a gated community. That's what we call it. Everybody else calls it prison, whatever. But I love coming back out to this. I used to be a cop on this island, believe it or not. I was one of those little Hitler Youth people walking around giving out tickets. That was me. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I've had so many jobs in my life. That was one of the better ones. I was also, first job actually out of college, I worked for the Psychic Friends Hotline. Remember the Psychic Friends Hotline with Dionne Warwick? And they fired me. And I did not see that coming. And then I was a plant manager for a while. I grew marijuana. And then I worked at a hip-hop radio station. After about a year, they asked me to leave. And then I worked at a hospice, but that was short-lived. I've had a lot of jobs. My favorite job was a hand job by Susie Miller in 8th grade, but that didn't pay well. And I was the opening act for Bill Cosby for a while. I don't remember much, but it was a pain in the ass, I can tell you that. Too soon? Too soon on that one? Okay. All right, I'm the bad guy apparently. Good. This has been fun. I know right now we're in a weird time in this country where everyone's very triggered and very offended, so I just want to say, if I've offended anybody tonight and you're going to go on social media and besmirch me, at least pronounce my name correctly. Ray Romano, 2 R's, everybody, okay? Make sure you get that right. Weird time. Not just the pandemic. We had so much stuff going on in the country. The election, and I'm not a political comic, and I'm not going to, because we're such a divided nation, I'm not even going to tread under those waters. I'm not a political comic. Anyway, last time I voted, it was for Clay Aiken, and he lost to Rubin that season, so I'm not very engaged. And who am I to make fun of either president, the one we just had or the one we have now? Because I could never be president. First of all, you have to be a naturalized born citizen, and I was C-section. And no one would vote for me. I have horrible opinions on a lot of the major issues. Gay marriage, I happen to be for it because I believe in equality, and why shouldn't gay people suffer like the rest of us? That's how I feel about that. And gay people have always been able to get married. My sister's been married to a gay guy for 20 years, so I don't know what the big deal is there. And I like parts of both parties. The Democrats are pushing the Green New Deal. I care deeply about the environment. I drive an electric car 3 days a week because I'm a golfer. And I'm not a good golfer. People assume that I am because my nickname is Putz, but I'm not good. And I was playing at a private country club on Long Island last month because I love their iced tea, and I was having a good round. About the 5th hole, I got bitten by a wasp because they don't allow Catholics to play on some of these courses. And some of the members said that I was deliberately trying to hit them with my balls in the shower. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. And Trump seemed to have the economy under his, control, at least until the pandemic, and I can't even control my own account. I still owe the Columbia Record and Tape Club $10,000. That's pretty sad. Visa and MasterCard call me every week and compliment me. They tell me my balance is outstanding, which is good to hear. I don't want to brag, but I'm actually coming into some money soon because I have a loose tooth. So my problem is I give a certain percentage of my income to the Lord. Javier is a Mexican drug lord, and not a good investment, as it turns out. Although things are about to turn around for Tom Cotter. Probably shouldn't say this in public, but I just got an email today from a Nigerian prince, everybody. And, oh yeah. This might be my last show before retirement. I wouldn't want to be the commander-in-chief anyway. It's the hardest job in the world. You get to deal with nut jobs like North Korea and Iran and ISIS. And I'll tell you something, if I haven't pissed you off yet, strap in. I hang the ISIS flag in front of my house, everybody. And I'll tell you why I do that. I do that because I cannot afford a home security system. So my house is under 24-hour surveillance by the FBI, the CIA, and the NSA for free. You're welcome. I got to wrap this up because I got a full bladder, but this has been fun. It really has. We really did have a weird year and a half. We had an insurrection, we had riots all the time, and we had obviously a contentious election and a pandemic and all that stuff. The part for me that got the weirdest, though, was how far cancel culture really went off the rails, I thought, this last year. And it just, when we started canceling Mr. Potato Head and Dr. Seuss, one of the Muppets got canceled. Pepe Le Pew was canceled, everybody. I just thought maybe we're going a little too far. And what really killed me was last Christmas, we canceled a song that was written in the 1940s called Baby It's Cold Outside. People were triggered by that song. Radio stations wouldn't play it. They said it had toxic masculinity in it, and they said that the lyrics had suggestions of male sexual aggression, which is fine if you feel that way. But at the exact same time, the #1 song in this nation for over 2 months was entitled Wet Ass Pussy, ladies and gentlemen. I am not making that up. Google it. Check me out on that. I'm not lying. For over 2 months, the #1 song was played on the Grammys. It also won the Best Hip Hop Song for the American Music Awards and the People's Choice Awards. And so I thought it would be fun to compare and contrast the lyrics of these two songs to see if indeed this country has lost its fucking mind. Now, let's begin with the horribly offensive Christmas song written just after World War II, Baby It's Cold Outside. I really can't stay, baby, it's cold outside. I gotta go away, baby, it's cold outside. This evening has been so very nice. Yeah, you fucking with some wet ass pussy. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass pussy. Beat it up, N-word, extra large, extra hard. Put this pussy in your face, swipe your nose like a credit card. My mother will start to worry. Beautiful, what's your hurry? My father will be there at the door. Listen to that fireplace roar. Well, maybe just half a drink more. Spit in my mouth. Look in my eyes. This pussy is wet. Come take a dive. Talk your shit, bite your lip, ask for a car while you ride that dick. My sister will be suspicious. Gosh, your lips look delicious. My brother will be there at the door, waves on a tropical shore. Well, maybe just a cigarette more. I need a deep stroker, I need a weed smoker. Not a garden snake, I need a king cobra. I don't want to spit, I want to gulp. I want to gag, I want to choke. I want you to touch that little dangly thing that's swinging the back of my throat. I submit to you that this nation has lost its fucking mind, everybody. I'm Tom Cotter. You're an amazing audience. I thank you so very much. Thank you so much. Listen, I think the cameras are off. How about it for Jimmy Dunn, who opened this up unbelievably? Kevin Flynn, everybody who's doing all the sound and everything. You guys are an amazing audience.